Okay. Hey, y'all. This is a little impromptu episode because when I want to talk about something, I just pull my friends in. So, welcome to another episode of AJ's Round Table, AJ's Therapist Corner, all of the things. Um, I know you're used to seeing, my beautiful friends' faces, but to my left, right here in the corner, is John. To the bottom left of me is Ayana. And right under me is Ariel. She stepped away for a second, but she'll be right back. So I sent them something originally. We was gonna talk about that, but I don't want to talk about that. There was something I saw from Mr. Emmanuel Acho, and I'm gonna put the video in right here.
But when you're a kid, they told us to write our
They
goals
did.
down.
They did. And they
it's
lied.
And it's important when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You saying they dumb.
They lied.
Well, tell me something new.
Look, I was a junior in college, University of Texas. I'm playing football, supposed to be the big man on campus. And I wanted to declare for the NFL draft. Problem. In order to declare for the NFL draft, you have to submit your tape to scouts. They came back and said, Emmanuel, you won't be drafted in the first 3 rounds. What did I do? I took that sheet of paper, I highlighted it, I put it above my bed. I looked at it every morning I woke up, and every night I went to sleep. Because as D. Wade said, you got to commit your goals to memory. It's what they tell little Timmy. So I committed them to memory. Problem at the NFL Combine, 32 billionaires, owners of teams. I'm running a 40-yard dash, and I hear boom, 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 boom. My quad was tearing off the bone. Just completely torn quad.
That's the actual photo.
That's the picture of when I'm tearing my right quad off the bone running at the NFL Combine. I end up getting drafted in the 6th round. It was that day I said goals are dumb because a goal is the simplest way to fail. See, if you set a goal and you don't achieve it, you ruin your self-esteem. You ruin your self-efficacy. I started to question, who am I? If you set a goal and you do achieve it, congrats. But what if you could have done more? D. Wade, we all do something like this. At 26, I want to be married. At 28, Twitch, I want to have kids. By 30, I want to own a home. But what happens when you're 31 and you have none of those things? Now you start to question yourself. I no longer believe in goals. I believe in setting an objective with no limitations, because a goal is an end towards which energy is aimed. But why in the world would I start something with the end in mind?
So now that you've seen that video, what pissed me off, right, y'all? It really pissed me off is the notion, and it was on the Ellen show of all places. So it's a very big platform, a very big following, where you decided to say that goals aren't something you should have, attain, but you should have objectives, which any therapist who knows goals and objectives go synonymously. They're hand in hand because you have on a goal and then you have the objective to that goal. So we all know how important they both are. Um, it pissed me off because it was just a whole heap of nothing. It was like a whole heap of hot air of how you shouldn't have goals, but you should have goals because, how it's important to have something to attain to, but don't put a timetable on it, which was essentially what he was trying to say, but contradicted himself because he said an objective versus the goal. The problem I have with that is a lot of people who follow that kind of stuff and take these sound bites and make these clips makes it feel as if he just said the most profound thing about how it's not important to have goals and how you shouldn't work towards the end in mind per se. And to me, I feel like that was misleading, and I feel like it's not useful in conversation, because there's always something you should want to attain to. Not as an end per se, because there's nothing that ends until we're in the ground, but more so as there's something for you to work towards to keep moving into your purpose or into whatever it is that you feel is important to you in your life. So that's where I'm coming from with that particular situation and why it pissed me off. But what about you guys? Like, how do you feel about that particular video?
I don't know who jumping in first, but I'll jump. Um, I think I don't agree with it, of course, and it's probably because with a mental health background, you think about smart goals,
Mhm.
and then of course breaking down objectives, and so I don't know exactly. I wish he would have gave better context to explain what
Mhm.
exactly did you mean by that, but then also I don't know. I don't agree that you shouldn't have goals because he made it seem as though goals have to be definite.
Mhm.
And goals can be revised at any time. You can always, because his example was like, if you want to be married by a certain time, you want a house by this. What happens when you're 31 and you don't have none of it? I too grew up and thought by 24, I was going to be married with a career and some children. Ask me which one I got, the career.
Did.
But I ain't married and I ain't got no kids. But I'm not sitting here like, oh my gosh, now
My
what?
life is
You just,
over now. What? Yeah.
yeah, it's like as if like at that moment at 31, if I don't have anything, like he was like, because then what else? You make a plan to still obtain your goal. It's not like, oh, I didn't obtain it by this age, and therefore I'm no longer able to do it.
Mhm.
And I think that what makes it even more off-putting to me was the response, like how you said, like people do these sound bites. People be just the fact that everybody in that audience was like, um,
Yes.
hands down, right? No, that was not as deep as y'all made that. It's probably because they put that little light up that says applause now. Because that was not
I
even that deep for all that type
yeah,
of applause.
it wasn't.
Mm.
And it was the way he sat up like he's about to say something so big, and I'm like, "You ain't said nothing. Nothing you said was like, oh snap, let me think about that."
He said, "You guys are putting shackles on your ankles by having goals. How dare you? Have an objective. And better yet, don't put a timestamp on it. Just have things you want to do in life."
Just that's the same thing. But John, what's your take? What do you think?
I mean, I I agree with all of that. Um, it was just like a bunch of like nothing, right? Because I think goals is what gives folks out the bed in the morning. So if a
Mhm.
goal is I want my feet to touch the floor, I want to be in a good mood. That's a damn goal. Let people have goals. Let people dream. Let people think. Let people achieve and dream and all this other stuff. Without somebody having to say goals is like a figment of their imagination. It might be, but
Mhm.
it might be that one thing that may push that person towards, again, like you said, their purpose. And Ayana said it beautifully. They can be changed. And that's what we're saying. Oh, my goal is to get $1 million. These are not things that people have just decided to wake up and say, I just want this just because they see it for
Mhm.
themselves. That's
Right.
manifestation in its rawest form. Now, I can see on the other side, if he said it more eloquently and actually used actual words, I can see how if some people like in therapy, they say they set goals, but then they become so fused to the idea that I have to have something by that certain time,
Mhm.
particularly certain the here and the now. Now that's
Mhm.
different. That's more maladaptive, right? My goal is going to be my sole identity, so I have no purpose right here and right now. If they follow what brother was saying, then that's what they that's where they will end up. But in actuality, you can modify those goals. You say, okay, well, I'm 28 right now, and I said by 29 I want to be married, but you haven't went out on a date yet. I can modify that and say, okay, let's go to 32, let's go to 34, let's go to 35. Right. So goals were made to be modified as like those internal deadlines as well, because we make,
Mhm.
but society feeds us the image that you have to have it by a certain time frame. But it's okay to set a goal, but it's even better to be able to have to understand you have the agency to modify that and make it work for you, not everybody else.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think cuz I laugh at it now. I wasn't thinking about marriage and kids cuz first of all, my mother had my brother at 22, 23, 23. She was she just turned 23. had me at 20, about to turn 27, or she was 27. Was married at 21, 22. Was getting ready to turn 22. And I saw how that ended. My brain was like, I'm going to have my PhD by the time I'm 26. That last year at Cookman was like 26, where, bitch? Because I'm not even wanting to go back to school for my master's. Like, what are we talking about? Like, okay.
Yeah.
And the marriage and kids, I gave up on that when I decided in 2013 I wasn't dating anybody. I was like, dating? What is that? No, thank you. Like, my mom was nervous. She was like, wait, you're not dating anybody? No. Because every time I try, ain't he cute? Isn't he cute? Sure, yeah, he's cute. Okay. She was like, you not dating nobody? No. The people. So I did say I wanted grandkids at 55, not 65, 70. I mean, if you just want kids, I could pop them out if that's what you want. She was like, no, you need a husband. Oh, okay. So you going to get these kids when I'm getting goddamn ready. Period. Like, now I kind of just take it for what it is. Like, I was like, I have goals. I have goals. I have time frames in which I would like to meet them.
Yes.
But I've also learned that I had to listen to myself and listen to my body, because master's degree beat me down. Okay.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
I was to the point where I
Take
was
your
just
time.
like, I was like, therapy, counseling, fuck them. No, absolutely not. I'm not comfortable doing it. They done made it seem like I'm just this rambunctious, obnoxious person that shouldn't be in these therapy rooms. Oh, what I'm gonna do? No, absolutely not. I'm good. I'm perfectly fine. But um and then the licensure process can suck a dick. So I really didn't put a timetable on anything because I was like, nah. They put a timetable on it because they only give you 5 years to do it before you have to start over. But like, I realized timetables just make you more anxious and make you feel like, I can see if he said setting a goal and being hooked on the timeline can make you fail. If he would have said that, I would have been like, absolutely. Because people get lost in the timeline and not focused on the goal itself. If the goal is just to be a wife and a mother or whatever, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But also with a goal, there's a process that has to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if the goal is to be a wife and a mother, what type of wife are you trying to be? What type of mother are you trying to be? And if those things were to come to you today, are you prepared for the things you have to do and sacrifice to be in those positions? Or, because these are the examples he was using. And if you want to be a homeowner, do you have what it takes to buy and furnish your home? So it's kind of like, yeah, we can put all these timetables together, but are you prepared for those things that you're saying you want? And are you working towards it with the objectives that you should have?
Right.
So I'm like, and most of the time therapists give objectives. So you're not trying to take a huge chunk or a huge bite out of this big goal that you set for yourself. You take little bitty steps, a little bit at a little bit at a time, which are the objectives, which you can go and amend and change and fix and redo until you feel that you've accomplished your goal. But like, to put that much, and I feel like we were talking about this offline, but I think the disservice social media has done to our kids is made them feel like if they don't have $1 million by the time they 22, they are a failure. Or if they don't have a baby or a baby daddy or a baby mama or whatever, they just are so anxious about not having it all together. And it'd be almost like a condescending thing I've seen on Twitter quite a bit where somebody is like, "Oh, you still living at home with your mama," or "Oh, you still doing this? I got this, this, and this by 22." That's good for you. That's good that you was given that opportunity to do that.
Mhm.
But what about the fact that what if that was all gone tomorrow? Would you be able to acquire it again? Or would you be prepared for what that's gonna look like to have to acquire it again?
Not if you only got a goal.
That part.
Yeah. And I want to add, I think, again, I agree with what everyone's saying. It's okay to have goals. I think the difference is, again, kind of what you said, Twin. It's the timeline, expectations. You can have a goal that you're working towards, but when we start putting expectations of like, I expect this to happen, we're always going to be disappointed because that's not how life works. And so it's more of a readjusting your expectations to realistic life. Hey, I want to get my goal of, getting my PhD, and it might not happen at this rate, but it can still happen in my life journey. That's a lot different than I have to have it by 26. 26 comes and now you feel like a fucking failure. I think it's really realigning our expectations, and we do it not just with goals with self, but goals with relationships, with our career. I think it really comes down to goals are okay, but it's how we go about carrying them out and how we go about prioritizing them in our lives.
And like how fused we are to those goals. Like again, what you said, Ari, about like I mean, if you don't have goals for like your relationships, you'll be walking around aimless. Like it's just like let anything and everything happen to you. But goals are like boundaries, right? The same exact thing. They set the precedence for how you want people to interact with you, and so you know where you're going. You know how much capacity you have. You set goals for yourself. We set goals in therapy. So our goals in therapy just for no reason. That's why we need it gives us what? Directions, like a GPS, right? You know where you want to end up, but the journey may look a little bit cloudy, but that's why you set goals to make sure you are as full as a person as you can be. In relationships, you set goals so that way you know, okay, this person has the goal of having kids or wants to be a parent, the goal of being a parent. I don't see that for me in this current moment. So there's a conversation. But if you just say, oh, he looks good, let me just work on him, right? That's not setting a goal. That's just doing anything that you want to do. So what is the point? Right? But most of us, of course, there's like a good trapeze that we have to walk in a sense of saying we can set goals, but understand that you have permission to modify those goals. Don't care what anybody else is doing. Comparisons like the thief of joy. I think we all know that. So don't compare yourself to somebody else's goal because again, it could be modified. They could just change it the next day. As you said, oh, that goal looks really good. Goals are meant to be changed. That's why they're goals, right? They're not things that have actually happened. And when they do happen, you set a new goal based upon the information you have available to you. So it's just set goals, but don't be fused to the idea that your identity becomes that goal because you lose sight of the here and now. That's the point.
Come on, JJ, you better say that first.
My clients by this, I say, set a damn goal, set a damn goal. Oh, it's like, oh, no, set a goal. It's okay. We can change it if we don't get there in time. It's cool. And
I
what is the rush,
think
right? What is the rush?
right. And as we wrap up, I really just feel like it's I want to end this with a solution rather. What's one thing that you all tell your clients in order to, uh, I guess, not, well, comfort them in the notion that your goals are bendable. Like you can still, on the other side of that, there's still life if you don't hit it by that timetable you put it in.
Okay, I'm jumping in again first. um, I don't think I really have anything specific that I tell my clients when it comes to goal time frames. Because most of the times when we discuss goals, the ones that I have that are old enough to really discuss goals don't know what they want their goal to be. Like I think right now we're just working on self-awareness and self-discovery. So it's like in my mind, learning them, I have like little goals for them. But like their goals for themselves is really to figure out what a goal is or uh, what they want life to be like if they can see that far. And most of them, some of the ones that I work with, don't even look that far in the future because they, like we talked about earlier, when it comes to like it being anxious, some of it makes them depressed to think about what they can't control in the future. So I don't even do a whole bunch of goal setting. It's just like, what do we want to work on today? So I guess that's my aim when it comes to goals. Like, what did we work on today? I had a conversation with one of them because he was talking about something. I forget the quote that he gave, but it had something to do with tomorrow. And I was telling him like, tomorrow never comes, and he was like, "Yes, it does." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't, because it's always today. Like we can look forward to tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. It's always today. So really, only focus on today. Focus on today. Let's get today. Like, yes, we can still have something like by Friday. I want to do whatever. I can't focus on Friday though. So what am I going to do on Tuesday? But then that goes back to like goals and objectives. My goal is to do something by Friday. So what am I doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to make sure that by Friday X, Y, and Z is accomplished? And if it doesn't get done by Friday, did I at least do what I said I was going to do throughout the week? And if I didn't, can I move it to another day? Like, yeah, I'm very big on let's focus on right now. Mainly because that's something I need to work on too. Focusing on the now and not being so future focused. So that's my thing today.
Ooh, girl,
I love that.
dude.
Sit down, Doc. Shut it
Gee,
He said that. Come on.
damn,
down. Shut it
damn. Okay, girl.
Even though
Twin,
shout
you
out to
about
my sis Glorilla for her song tomorrow.
down.
cause she said that's why I love tomorrow. The- I love that.
Yeah.
Twin, what you was about to say?
And I'm a picky because that's something similar I tell my clients. But what I always say is we should just aim for 1% better each day. If we can do
Mm-hmm.
one thing different that gets us closer to where we want to be, whether emotionally, mentally, physically, that's all we have. Because, like Ayana said, tomorrow's not guaranteed. I mean, I tell people the pandemic was proof of that. We literally, woo, 2020, it's our year. And next thing we know, the whole country shut down and our whole world was, especially as clinicians, was turned upside down in a matter of weeks. So I think it
Days.
teaches us that,
Days.
and I think our generation is unlearning the hustle culture, the grind, 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 and understanding truly life. We have to take it one piece at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's gone, and the future is not here. So all we have is our now. And so make your now count. Even for myself, I remind myself taking my day 5 minutes at a time. I can have my whole day planned out. A client might have a crisis. I might have a crisis. Something else happens. And next thing I know, my day that was scheduled 2 weeks ago is now completely different. And so my advice is 1%. Just aim for 1% better than you were the day before.
I like that too. I'm not that deep with my clients. I was just like, I'd be like,
Yes, the hell you is.
I'm about to say, I know she
Got
anyway,
a bird on Zoom.
I
on.
did.
Tragic.
I did. I said what I said.
Y'all see how
I'm
she treat me. Y'all see how she treat me.
whatever. It's not that okay. I'm not like taking 1%. I'm not doing that. I say simply, okay, you didn't do it, but you're still sitting here. So what now?
That's not
Yes,
deep.
not not to y'all extent. No, not to me anyway. Because
It's just
I'm like,
different words.
Let it sit in you.
Yeah. Okay, you didn't do it, but you're still here. And it's like, huh, I'm still here.
Put you right in the test.
It didn't stop nothing, did it? That's deep.
Like,
Come on, stop playing in our face. That's deep.
Come
That's
on, I'm
different,
still standing. Come on.
okay. So, or I
we
say,
agree. Yeah.
I'm taking something from my therapist. She tells me all the time, what's on the other side of that you're not willing to address.
Come on.
So I think in my mind, I'm like with my clients, I'm like, yo, you want to do that. And because most of the time I'm working with teens, I'm like, I get that right now is all you can see. But at the same time, look past the pain of the moment and see that you're still here. And the world isn't ending tomorrow.
Right. I'm really
So
glad you just looked us in our face and said you don't get that deep. And then
I
you gave us 2 deep questions that require introspection
Don't
and
even pay
reflection,
attention to her
which
when
are
she got
both
a
deep.
she get the whole prologue about I
Right.
don't do this, I don't do
Those
that.
were
We
amazing.
talking about little quotes like, tomorrow isn't promised. Let's focus
1%.
1%. And
You
you're
got
like,
whole analogy,
right,
metaphor.
look on the other
I didn't
side.
want to say mine's after that, girl.
Right. I
I
don't know
mean,
best.
oh my gosh, y'all. No, I just think that like, cause again, I'm very reality centered. So I'm like, okay,
Reality is
that's what you
deep.
said, huh?
Mhm.
I say reality is deep. But
Check
go
her.
ahead. Continue.
Check her. Yeah, she deserves to be checked.
Shut up, John.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'm really big on like, okay, so I don't like to say it that way, but I'll be like, okay, and what else? What else happened? What else do you want to do now? That didn't work, so what else? So
I actually
I
like
get I think it's not that deep because I don't be that like soft with it. Cause y'all are very like, oh, and I'm like, okay, and like what's going on? Like what's next? Like what we doing
I
next?
like that though.
Well, you asked me
Y'all
how I speak to my clients, and I speak to my friends. My kids don't always, they're not all, that wasn't nice, but there is,
they're not always like receptive. I get it.
so I have to word it in a way that's going to make you be like, what did Miss Anna just say? Okay. And like
Mm-mm.
try to hear me out, or at least remember what I said to her. Maybe you'll ask later, we can have a conversation.
My kids have baby kids tendencies, so I
So
say
you
what
got to
I
be
said.
right there.
But
Something that I do like how you approach them, mom, in the sense of saying like you become so like beat up about like certain goals that you set, but you're still sitting there like you're still like a full person, right? Like nothing didn't take
mhm.
from you being you still able to breathe, live, all stuff like. And something that I tell my clients very simple. Actually, you'll be surprised how simple it is. I put an analogy of a car, right? So if you got a brand new car, right, and you're the brand new car, right, and you have a goal that you set for yourself, and you drive this car 100 miles per hour to get there, that car is going to break down. At some point, it's going to break down. You're going to miss every single thing on the way: red lights, stop signs, pedestrians, the scenery, because you're trying to go so damn fast. What would it look like for you to go 60 and not 100? You're still going to get there, but you're going to say, oh, that's a nice rest stop. There's some trees out there I can sit by, like the
Look at
water.
that house. That's a nice house.
Nice
That's a
house, right?
nice
Actually,
boulder.
people walking across the street, so I need to slow down, right? There's people I need,
Mhm.
right? Try to go 60 and not 100. Try to go 80 and not 100. Try to go 40 and not 100. Enjoy
Mhm.
your life because the destination you're going to get there. It's just a matter of when. But if you go to 100 miles per hour, your car's going to break down. You have to go cost and repairs. The cost of it being repaired is going to be high, which means
Mhm.
your emotional, your sexual, your physical is going to be impacted by all that stuff going 100 miles per hour. Then you get there, then you wore out and you hurting, and you
Mhm.
like it in the first place. So slow down a bit. Put
I
the gas
love
on.
that.
Y'all are good. I
Yeah,
like
because I'm
y'all.
like, oh, because if you the
Come
car in the
on.
metaphor, you don't notice if your check engine light on, you're running out of gas.
Mhm.
And as a person, when we be going too fast, you don't pay attention to that. I love that.
That's good. Y'all are good. I like y'all. I'll come see y'all. I
Don't
sure
pay us
will.
enough. They don't pay us enough. They don't pay us enough.
Right. Hey, pay us for this. If you watching,
No.
raise
If I
our salary.
this, y'all would be my top picks.
Pigs, yo.
I would
Pigs.
see I would see Ayana and I would see Ari. I would not see Ariel for obvious reasons. I would not see her. Because maybe by session 2, I'd be like, where do I sign to get up out of here? Please, this is boot camp. This works in the military.
Boot camp.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
She said, don't relax in that seat. Sit up.
Right.
We came here to talk, not lollygag. What's up?
Also,
I actually really do let my kids like kind of whatever. You get up and
Yeah.
walk around, you sit there, and people probably be surprised. I don't make them put their phones up unless they absolutely aren't paying attention to me. I don't. First of all, they fidget. So I asked an uncomfortable question. They pick their phone up. I know what you're doing, but you're gonna answer this question. So let's move
Right,
on.
I'll wait.
I'll wait. It's okay. I like silence. I know how to deal with it.
Because I'm not gonna say nothing until you answer.
don't we
Period.
have
I like my
a
kids with their phones too, because a lot of times they want to share different stuff anyway on their phones.
True. You said what, John?
we have a congratulations in the midst, right?
Oh
Who?
yeah, me too.
Somebody cross over to the dark side.
Burr,
What-
burr, 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 burr.
Burr, 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 burr.
Hey,
Is you talking about? Is you talking about me?
yeah, you.
I thought we already did. Oh,
No, we didn't
thank
do that. We do
you.
introductions or nothing.
I did too. I said you had done. I
Yeah,
did that.
we didn't say what you got, you earned.
Got them letters.
Right, y'all
So
see
let us.
Oh,
the name? They sit next to the name.
In
oh,
case
because
y'all
we
didn't
did
know,
keep.
Ariel
Oh,
J. Stevens, she crossed over to the dark side, so she is no longer on somebody's supervision. That means she her own boss ass bitch. Yeah.
oh, thank you. Oh,
In the state of
yeah.
Florida,
Lord
y'all. State of Florida,
certified. Burr, 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 burr.
independent,
Oh,
licensed
thanks. I
therapist.
am.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was so funny. My boss looked at me like I had two heads because I looked at her and she was like, "Yeah, so do." She said something about mental status exams or mental health evaluations. I was like, "Yeah, can I do those?" And she was like,
Yeah, girl.
"Yeah." I was like, "Listen, okay, I'm still adjusting here. Leave me alone." Um.
But that's dope though. That is really you worked really hard to get that, and we're so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm working with Ayana. I'm getting her together because she gonna be on the dark side too real soon.
And I'm right
Yeah,
at
it's
September of next year. September, fully
Now
licensed.
she on mute and running her mouth.
I'm not.
What you saying over there?
I said this ain't time. You acting like Kanye trying to divert the attention. Let's come back on you.
No.
This
Yeah,
is your moment, Miss Thing. This is your moment,
right.
Miss Thing.
Don't it feel
LMHC.
good to be in the spotlight? Not you trying to. Y'all
Say your
ain't
full
right
name.
there.
Say your full name.
Ooh, what is it?
What is it?
My name is Ariel J. Stevens, LMHC.
Which stands for what?
Licensed mental health counselor.
Which means what?
That I am full blown independent license.
In the state of what?
Lord.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Say
Okay.
next time when I say run it like that. Just like that.
Oh my gosh. Well, these crazy nuts. This has been another round table. I really appreciate all my therapist friends for coming through all the time because I know we be trying, y'all. We be trying. But until next time, stay black, stay beautiful, stay humble. Bye.